Good afternoon, my Facebook family and friends. This is Myra from Brown Cherub's Love Zone, and I'm jumping on to do another quick little live. Um, it's funny. First of all, I want to thank everybody for watching. I've had some really positive comments about the live so far, which is always very much appreciated, and it seems some people are watching them afterwards, after I've posted, and then they're coming back to me either when I see them or sending me a message privately. So I can't thank people enough for doing that. That's, I really do appreciate that, and it's encouraged me to carry on, because sometimes I do the lives, I try to fit them in when I've got 2 minutes without the children disturbing me, or when I haven't got something going on. So sometimes I'm posting them and there's nobody watching, like now, but I am reassured now that people are watching them later, so that's great. And then a little bit of feedback is wonderful, so thank you. Just wanted to say that. But yes, I also want to let people know again what it's about. So Brown Cherub's Love Zone is a free Facebook page for people who are single but seriously ready now to mingle, or people who are in relationships and are interested in attraction, relationships and love. So there's lots going on in there. As I say, I keep posting different bits and pieces, things that I'm researching and finding of interest for me, and then I'll post them in the group. Some things I'm posting generally just so that people can see what's going on and what sort of things I'm looking at. Some of the stuff is absolutely hilarious. Some of the things that people are discussing and debating are just so funny. So even if you just want to pop in and have a little look and have a little laugh, you can feel free, because you can just join at any time. Just let me know if you want to join, and then of course you can just come out whenever you want to. Oh, thank you, Jan. But I've got a really I've got a funny one for you today. Yes, so sorry, before I go into that, I just want to plug my event. Where I try to have a Brown Cherub Love Zone social at the end of every month, just to give my singles an opportunity to meet each other, to play some games, to access some of my tips and hints, to practice some of my hints and tips, for us to have a look at kind of what's going on out there. And it's just a bit of a way to socialise, really, because when I was single, I found that quite difficult, because a lot of people I knew were partnered up, and you don't want to feel like the fifth wheel on the wagon. So it's nice to go out in a group and just socialise and have some fun and get your glad rags on and let your hair down. So there's one planned for the end of this month, but the last one I offered didn't have much of an uptake, and this one hasn't had much of an uptake. So I think I might try one more next month, and if that one doesn't get any interest, and I know these things take time, and I know these things take a bit of effort, and people have to get used to it, but I'm not doing it for myself. As I just wanted to say, I get my date nights. Me and my husband make date night a priority in our relationship. So we get our date night, we get to go out, I get to get my glad rags on and put my makeup on and let my hair down and all that sort of stuff anyway. So I was just trying to extend that to other people who possibly don't have that same opportunity. So if it is that this one doesn't come off, and I might try one more, and then after that I'm going to leave it, because I shall just assume that it's not something that people want, and that's absolutely fine, because as I say, I still get my date night. I go out and get my meal, or my cinema, or my little 2-for-1 cocktails. And some of you, my friends out there, will know, because they've started to ask if we can double up, and that's fabulous. So we can carry on doing that. So yes, so if you want to be involved, do let me know. Don't wait around, because you know what I'm like. If I get a new idea, I'm going to drop this like a hot potato, and I'm going to start doing something else. So you know what I mean. You need to kind of strike while the iron's hot to keep me encouraged and carrying on. Sorry, I got a bit of a run. It's always this hay fever, and it's always as soon as I come onto my live. But anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about I had a phrase for it as well. Yeah, that times have changed. This is my topic for today. Times have changed, and the reason I wanted to jump on about this was I've just been downstairs seasoning my chicken, putting it in the oven. And I'm seasoning my chicken, and I start laughing, because when I was with my ex-husband, and I always say it in my videos, and I always repeat it just in case someone new's watching. The stuff, the tips, strategies, tips and things that I share are from my own experience of having been married twice, my life journey with my dad. My dad's been present in our family and has been very much the patriarch of our family my whole life. I've got a brother, I've got a son, I've got uncles, and I've dated and I research and I have clients because I'm a life coach. So a lot of what I share is from my own life's path. And I do open it up and say to people, if anything I say you don't agree with, or you haven't ever come across that, do feel free to comment and let me know, because obviously I can only ever speak from my own perspective. But yes, so there I was just now, excuse me, doing my chicken, and I'm seasoning it up, and I started laughing because I remembered what my ex-husband had said to me once. I was seasoning chicken. Okay, you gotta listen to this. I was seasoning the chicken, and he says to me, or I was about to season it, and he said to me, before you season the chicken, can you remove your nail varnish? Because he don't want flakes of nail varnish in his chicken. So anybody who knows me, and most of you do, I look at him, and I'm thinking, you know what, bruv? If you don't want nail varnish in your chicken, season your own bloody chicken. That will sort your chicken out for you, because you're in there sitting on your ass. I get up to do you some food, and you're complaining to me that I must take off my nail varnish. So I'm there just now doing my chicken, and yes, I'm wearing nail varnish. Okay, because I'm trying to keep up appearances since having my makeover. I'm wearing my little nail varnish, and I'm conscious of that, and it's making me laugh. And I thought, you know what? Times have changed, because I'm wearing my little nail varnish. I don't have nail extensions, or no fancy shellac, or no fancy French polish or French varnish, or whatever them call that. I don't have that. Okay, I cannot imagine there is a woman who wears false nails or shellac who is going to remove it so that she can season chicken. Okay, if there is a woman out there who has extended nails and shellac and pays her money, her hard-earned money, to go and get that kind of treatment, who's going to remove it so she can season chicken, can you please pop a comment into the live? Because I don't think that happens. I don't think that happens at all. So I just wanted to say to people today, times have changed. Okay, I don't think guys out there are going to find many women who are going to be able to do that for you. And I think, you can't have it all. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a woman who wants to keep up appearances, look after herself, look crisp, who is going to be standing up in the kitchen sweating and slaving over cooking you a food that takes like time. Do you know what I mean? I could have got a pre-seasoned chicken and just put that in the oven in the bag. I hope y'all notice that chickens nowadays, they're telling us to cook them in the bag. Okay, so I could have done that. But no, I was seasoning my chicken from scratch, washed it and everything. Okay, so I'm going for me, I'm going that extra mile. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of young girls out there who haven't got a clue. Have not got a clue. And I'm willing to do that for my husband. And I was willing to do it for my last husband. And that's the comment he gave me. That's why he's my ex. You understand? That's why he's my ex-husband. Because that was his attitude. No gratitude or appreciation. So all I'm saying is that times have changed. And women, we're saying that we're the same as men. And we don't need them, and we're independent, we can do our own thing. I remember back a day, and the husband I've got now, I used to go out with him when I was a teenager. So I've got that that time span as well as reference. And back a day when we used to date, he would drop me somewhere and he would pick me up. Okay, so now, 20-something years later, I can drive. I've got my own car. I'm independent. I'm a big woman. Rare-tete. I'm going out. He's like, well, you can drive. And I'm like, but what if I want to drink? And he's like, well, if you want to drink, you can still drive and you can make your way home. You're a big woman. You can do these things. So times have changed. Times have changed. The expectations of in a relationship have changed. If you want a guy who's buff and who goes to the gym and who looks after himself, then he's not going to have time to be spending all his time with you, phoning you, taking you out, because he's doing other things. So you can't have it both ways. We can't all have it both ways. And I don't know about how some of y'all was brought up, but the way I was brought up, my parents had set roles. My dad, for example, did the gardening. He fixed things. He went out and worked. My mum did cooking and cleaning, and she went out to work part-time. So, nowadays, both partners are expected to work. Both partners are expected to clean. Both partners are expected to cook. And women, when we got all excited, I think it was 60s or 70s, and we took off those bras and we bun them up, that was great and it was liberating. However, while we was all going through that process and that shift, thinking that we can be equal and we can do what men do, and we can. All I'm saying is the men didn't have that same shift. The men were standing there watching us thinking, you can burn your bras all day and all night, and that's great because we're watching them titties jiggling and we're loving it. But y'all still going to cook and clean because we ain't doing it. Yeah, you can join us in the workforce, but after you've joined us in the workforce, y'all are going home to still cook and clean because we ain't doing it. Y'all can burn your bras all you like, but you know what? When it comes to having the children, y'all are going to have to carry them babies. Y'all are going to have to lay down and have those babies because we can't do it. And there was nobody to sort of stop the women and say, well, hold on a minute, how are you going to get extra hours in your day so that you can go out there and work, to provide for your family and cook and clean and have a baby and look after the children and this and that and everything else that we as women are now expected to do? Because we thought, and I'm speaking just from my perspective, I'm saying it plural like it's all of us, but obviously it's my perspective. I think women believe that when we shared that responsibility, men would share some of ours. But don't forget, men never asked for that. Men never asked for that at all. I'm lucky, I'm blessed because my husband will cook, my husband will clean, my husband will do the gardening. He goes out to work. He's a little bit standoffish when it comes to helping with the kids, but I will allow him that because of everything else he does. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to manage the kids, and the kids know that and they need that because I'm the one who comes down. You hear single women saying, I have to be mother and father to my kids. I was a single mother, and I've been married twice. Even when I was married the first time and now, I'm being mother and father to them. And I don't mean in terms of financial support. My husband is here, he has a presence, but he don't really discipline them. He don't really get involved in their squabbles. He don't really get involved in the debates and in what they are and aren't allowed to do and all that sort of stuff. That's all me. So I just wanted to tell people, times have changed, and so that people don't get disheartened, when they're going into relationships, having the expectations that they saw their parents have, if you had your parents together, or even if your parents were single, women back a day were tough. Okay, my mum's tough, all my aunties and them, they're tough. And, they never had no shellac and no extensions and all of them things, that they just toughed it out. So women today, and especially the younger generation, I'm sorry, but I don't think you guys are tough. And so, and if you do feel you're tough, that's what I'm saying, throw it in as a comment. I'm just saying, as an expectation, when you're going into relationships, be mindful. Do not expect to have in a relationship moving into the future what you saw happening in the past, because as I said, those days are done and things are different. And we're in a time now where social media is trying to socialise us and tell us how to behave and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable and what we should be doing and how we should be looking. And you can take that or leave it, but we are in a time where moving forward, we haven't got much of a reference looking back, because things back then were different. And I don't know whether society moving forward is tough enough to replicate that moving forward. So just take your little time. My advice for you is take your little time in your relationships, give people a chance. use your communication skills, talk things through, because as I say, a lot of people are referring to what they saw growing up, and that can't happen now. It's not going to happen moving forward. And if it does, can you come to a compromise or some kind of negotiation? Don't be like swiping left and right in relationships. You can do that on, I think it's Tinder or whatever. I've never used it, I've never seen it. People just swiping people left and right. If you like them, you swipe them one way. If you don't like them, you swipe them the other way. And that's almost how quickly we're getting through relationships. Somebody says something that upsets you, you're swiping them and they just delete and gone. Give a person a chance. Take your little time. And I'm not saying you have to, be in a relationship with somebody straight away. You can get to know the person, you can be friends, you can take your little time, you can be in a group, and you can keep it mutual just to kind of feel them out, because I think this is what is creating the upset and the angst that women are starting to feel. So, and maybe even men, because I'm meeting men now who've been single for years, and I'm thinking, how are you single for years when there's women all about? How is that possible? So people are starting to struggle. They're starting to think, what's going on? So I'm just trying to give a little bit more advice and say, give people a little time, give them a chance, work things out, use your communication skills, and let the relationship grow and develop. Because don't forget, especially in my parents' day, people, when they were in a relationship, were committed. If you were with somebody, you was with them. You were ride or die. You were in it together, proper Bonnie and Clyde stuff. People don't do that nowadays. Somebody messes up and you're like, you know what, ta-da, and it's over. So I'm just saying, before you get all upset and ready to swipe people left and right and what have you, just take your little time, give people a chance. Remember that times have changed. We are moving forward. No point looking back over your shoulder to think about, well, my dad used to pick my mum up after work, or, my mum used to season her chicken from scratch and burn off the little hairs. Yeah, stinking out the house. People don't want that now in their nice houses. People don't want to be stinking out their house by burning their chicken hairs. It might be necessary, and to be fair, I don't burn mine, but I do pluck them. off, because nobody likes to have a hairy chicken. But women would rather, remove their own body hair than be standing up fighting chicken. So I'm just saying, be mindful, be considerate. Remember, times have changed. Remember, we're moving into the future. Remember how, society, the images that we're seeing are very different. I mean, I grew up watching things like Little House on the Prairie. My daughter's grown up watching Love Island and the Kardashians. So things are very, very different. Okay, the Waltons and Little House on the Prairie. I remember them things. Mother in the kitchen with her little apron on, cooking bread. You know what I mean? Who cooks bread? Who cooks bread now? Do you know what I mean? But these are the ideologies that I grew up with. So those don't exist no more. It's things like Love Island, and it's the Kardashians. Do you ever see them proper cooking of food? I don't think so. So all I'm saying is just take your little time. Let's take our little time with each other. Let's try and be a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more patient, a little bit more compassionate, so that we can try and move forward into a future with a nuclear family if possible. If not a nuclear family, at least with relationships that work. And even if it's not marriage, just with somebody that you can trust, somebody that's got your back, somebody that's your brethren, somebody that's you can call your partner. It doesn't have to be exclusively for you. If you're a group of good friends, you can just look after each other. But let's look after each other. Let's love each other. And this is what Brown Cherub's Love Zone is all about. So I hope that all makes sense. I'm trying here now to pick out little bits of thyme and black pepper out of my fingernails. You see what I'm saying? That's love. Some people say, how do you know you're in love? When you're picking out seasoning out of your fingernails from seasoning chicken, that's when you know you're in love, people. Okay, so that's a little reference point for you. It's obviously not the only way you can tell, but it's one of them. So I'm going to love and leave you. I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon, great rest of your day. Have a brilliant weekend. As I say, if you want to know more and if you like these clips, then just drop me a DM and I will add you to Brown Cherub's Love Zone. Take care, love and light, and namaste. Bye.